What's up everyone, Jason from Thin Line Defense, and today we're going to be jumping back into the world of micro red dots. Today we'll be taking a look at a couple options from the Bushnell family of red dots. Let's see how these do. Now, this is the 6th video in this series. Our current rankings are as follows. In first place with its enclosed reticle, awesome features, and bomb-proof construction is the Holosun EPS carry. In second place with its feature-rich options and sturdy construction is the Ride-On MPRD Gen 2. Third place with its robustness and awesome illumination features is the Trijicon RMR-CC. Fourth place with its nice form factor and absolute budget-friendly price is a Primary Arms Classic Series Micro Red Dot. And finally, in fifth place with its great auto brightness and great form factor is the Crimson Trace Micro Rad. Now, I do want to be clear here and point out that this list is purely subjective. It is my list. It may not be your list. And as a reminder, there are 5 main areas that we're going to cover today. First, we'll take a look at installation. Next, we'll take a look at the form factor. Third, we'll take a look at the glass. Fourth, illumination. And I'll try to show this in bright and low light or no light settings. And then our last thing is a kind of an all-encompassing additional features section. But like all other videos, since this is our first jump into the Bushnell world, let's learn a little bit about Bushnell as a company. Bushnell as a company was started in 1948 when the founder, David Bushnell, started selling Japanese binoculars through mail order. Since then, it seems like the Bushnell name has been bought and sold a dozen times. Until the most recent change, which happened in 2015. And that's when Bushnell was spun off under the publicly traded company of Vista Outdoors. Vista Outdoors has other brands such as Blackhawk, Camp Chef, and even RCBS reloading products. But enough about that, let's get into the unboxing and get on the bench. This little keychain lens cloth is pretty cool. But the most surprising thing is they included multiple sets of screws. Did they watch the other videos in this series? But that kind of ties into our first category, and let's take a look at the installation. This optic has a Shield RMSC footprint and fits in the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus just fine. The Bushnell RXC-200 and RXU-200 use a standard 2032 battery, which is very convenient. Install the battery with a positive side facing out, line it up with the footprint, get the screws in, and blammo, you're done. All right, next let's take a look at the form factor. First, the RXC or the compact version, you'll see the design kind of has this built-in sunshade, if you will, out front. You see similar design on the Ultra Compact as well. That means both of these should handle being racked off a hard surface just fine. And with the 7075 T6 aluminum, these should be able to take a beating. On the outside, you see some of these angles in the housing, but they don't really equate to a bigger viewing window. They're just for looks. You'll also see a channel cut in the back so you can co-witness with your iron sights. And the main difference you see between these two is the obvious smaller height of the Ultra Compact. But besides that, there's nothing really different between these two. Windage and elevation adjustment is in the same location, same footprint, same deck height. But if you want that ultra concealable footprint, you're going to want the Ultra Compact version. All right, next is going to be the glass. The glass on both of these optics is surprisingly clear. You do have distortions around the edge, and these distortions may be the worst I've seen out of any of the optics we've reviewed to date. But I usually try to focus on the dot. And when you do that, the distortions don't even register. All right, next let's take a look at illumination. These optics have an auto illumination using a very efficient LED technology that gives them 50,000 hours of runtime indoors. And I found that the auto illumination worked well in low light, in no light, and even in bright light. As with most auto illuminations, there was one problem. Shooting from a dark area into a light area is where I have this problem. Standing in the dark area, the red dot dims. It makes it hard to see where the dot is outside or in the brighter area. And in those instances, the red dot's just hardly visible. I do want to take a moment though and add in something that I don't usually talk about in these reviews. When showing off these red dots, the camera doesn't really pick up any starburst that I might see with my eyes having astigmatism or something in my eyes that makes the dot look elongated or starburst. Super surprising, these Bushnells have the crispest dots that I've seen of any of these budget red dots that we've reviewed to date. Super clear with almost no starbursting at all. Now, that's comparable with the Trijicon that we reviewed and the Holosun. You know, optics double and quadruple the price of these optics. It's pretty amazing. Now, I guess I can make that be the first thing in our additional features category. The other thing is the Bushnell spuds that comes with these optics. The last piece I'll talk about under the additional features is the awesome construction of these things. These are built with 7075 T6 aluminum, and they supposedly exceed mil standards for impact and vibration. Add on that, these have the IPX7 ingress requirements. That's pretty awesome for this price point. But that's everything I wanted to touch on for this optic. Let's get into my pros and cons. Now, my first pro has got to be the insane price of these things. It's pretty common to find these in the $150 price range. And getting everything you do for that price is hard to wrap my mind around. The next pro has to be the almost perfect circle red dot. As I said before, these have to be the crispest dots I've seen in any of our optics, but especially our budget optics. Another pro? The low deck height that lets me co-witness with standard height iron sights. Fourth pro, it's got to be that solid construction. Billet aluminum and aggressive engineering gave me an absolutely beast of an optic. I could put this thing through the ringer and I have faith it'll come out practically unscathed. Finally, my fifth pro are the options that you get with the viewing window. Something I haven't seen before is having the option to go with the ultra compact window for even more concealability. Now, you definitely have to train with it and get used to it, but that Bushnell Ultra Compact is going to find a permanent home on my Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. All right, with pros, you got to have some cons. And to be honest, I had to stretch to find a con with these ones. But an easy one to touch on, there was no manual that came with these optics. It's honestly that good of an optic though. That's my complaint, which is easily rectified by going on their website and printing it out or downloading it. With all that, where do I rank that in our list of optics? I think its battery life, super crisp dot, and robust construction places it in second place on the TLD rankings. I honestly think people are sleeping on this optic. Now, I'm gonna send the Compact to Joe and see if he'd be willing to torture test it and kind of run it through its paces. Get his feedback on this optic. Maybe I'm looking at this with blinders on. Until then, I just want to say thanks to our Patreons and our YouTube subscribers. You guys absolutely rock. We are always appreciative of the support that you show us. And thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of these Bushnell pistol red dots. All right, guys. I'm out.